Good morning. Welcome to Back of the Cereal Box. I am your host, Willow Schuyler. Johnny is away, so the girls will play. Today is all about Jem and the holograms. Now, if only I can get my stuff together and play the...
It's like Coca-Cola, Levi Strauss, Johnny Carson and Mickey Mouse. The first star was James Dean. Elvis Presley, yeah, he's still the king. Some things are only imitatable. You can't beat an original. Oh, you can't beat an original.
All right, so Dee Barty's not with us today, but Sarah is.
John and Dee went screaming for the hills. They ran away, and it's all up to us. Can we do it, Willow?
I think we can.
I think we can too. I'm excited. How are you?
I am excellent.
All right. Well, that was the Murdering Crows song. What was the name of that song? I forgot the name of the song, Willow. Okay. It's what is the name of the song? I don't know, but it's on their album, Four Bad Crows. And it's available on Amazon, iTunes, Google. Go get some Murdering Crows.
Yes.
Which sounds really scary.
And the show is also brought to you by Sarah's book, Every Beaten Path.
I've seen that before. Yeah, you can get that anywhere that books are sold online. Any store, pick your favorite. Or don't. You don't want it.
Now everybody's going to go and buy one.
Oh, no. Yeah. Don't buy the book. You don't want to buy it. And also John's books. Let's not forget his fabulous Decoverse series. Yes, look at that. That's very colorful. Like I feel like when I look at that I'm like excited, like I'm just like ready to go. It's bright, it's colorful, just like Johnny.
I feel like I need to have a book out.
You should totally have a book out.
You could probably find my, weird stories that I've written about Castle online still.
Like the show Castle?
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, that's so cool.
I've dabbled in a bit of fanfic here and there.
It's the lead actress. Is her name? It's Stana.
Yeah.
So I always feel like I say her last name wrong, but she was in a show called Absentia, which was fantastic.
Oh,
one of my.
I'm gonna have to watch that.
You should totally watch that. We're gonna try to get her on Coffee and Words.
Yes,
my other show. So, well, this is Back in the Cereal Box, and this is the show where we remember the Saturday mornings of our youth fondly and necessarily, because we are trying to survive adulthood today. And that is the whole thing.
It's tough.
It is tough. It is very tough. It's especially when you're not a morning person. You have to get up and you're just like, I'm dead. But yeah. And then last night we had tornadoes.
Nope. I think we lost Sarah. Uh-oh. I'll bring her back up when I see her moving. There we go.
I'm back. Sorry, internet issues. This is my life, Willow. This is
you're having internet issues because of a tornado that came through.
We can blame it on that. We're going to blame it on that or Elon Musk, either one. Since he provides my internet for me. So.
Oh no.
Some days I'm thankful for his internet, and some days I'm not so thankful. Not true.
Gotta start stealing it from the neighbors.
It's crazy that where we live, we can't get any other internet out here other than cell phone tower or Elon Musk's Starlink. And we're not even that far from town. Yeah, it's a really weird dynamic. And it's like,
you know what? I remember in my last foster home, we had that same issue with the local internet provider, where like in town, where like the town like 5 miles away was able to get, you know, well, we had dial-up, but we were able to get cable. They were able to get cable and internet, but we weren't able to get either because otherwise we would have to cut down some trees.
Oh no!
And then it's like, wait, I swear our neighbors had satellite.
Oh, it stops. Comcast and AT&T and all that stuff stop like less than a mile up the road on both sides of our house. So I don't know. It's a conspiracy. It's a deep dark conspiracy. So Sarah cannot have internet. No.
We're gonna have to fix that issue.
Yeah, we're working on it. For now, Starlink is pretty good. So, but yeah, it has glitches. So watch me glitch out. So I'll leave, and apparently every couple of minutes, and Willow can take over. So,
so what are you eating today? What's in your bowl?
I'm not eating. But I do have a box. So, and I listen. I'm the very boring organic chica over here. Who all I had was kashi, but I mean, it has a fun box. You know, it's trying to save the planet. Look at that. We're saving the planet. I mean, I don't know. So this is one of our favorites when we do like a cereal. But
okay.
It actually looks eating, Willow. What's in your bowl?
Well, I finally am at the end of the box of my apple cinnamon Cheerios. So that's. I don't feel bad about it being in my cupboard anymore.
Now, are you going to be brave enough to like mix some cereals?
You know what? I was thinking about that. I have like a handful left of my Fruity Pebbles, and I'm not sure if that would taste good with either of the caramel toast crust that I have.
I think for today's show topic, though, you know, that's got like a real rock star appeal. Fruity Pebbles and caramel cereal. Yeah, let's go for that. All right, I would like to know from our audience members what is in your bowl this morning or this evening if you're tuning in from another faraway location.
And
what you guys eating?
We have Cartoon Commotion in the chat. Who is very excited about our topic. I'm actually planning on watching this tonight. I guess I'll be ready for a convo on Saturday then. Awesome.
Well, where are you, Cartoon Commotion? We're waiting on you to get here. Where be you?
Although it's funny, like I'm looking at the time of when they wrote that. It's 1:41 p.m. So last night.
Yes, yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
I mean, I love it.
So you're a day ahead.
Well, they were more prepared than me probably because they were like right on top of it. Carrie Bloodrose is planning to meet Jem in August. What? Carrie, what is happening? And
then we have Grizzly Adams.
Yeah, I think I'm supposed to. I think Grizzly's the one that wanted me to sing the Jem song. So we'll see if that happens. Oh, man, that's exciting. Well, we have got a big show planned this morning. Willow, did you watch Jem and the Holograms when you were growing up?
I did. And oddly enough, like I remember bits and pieces of it when I was growing up. And it like started when I was like 5 or 6, and I didn't realize how much of an impact that had on my life growing up until I watched it recently so I'm a cosplayer, and I went and found Jem and the Holograms earrings at
What?
Flash, and I immediately went into cosplay mode
Oh, I
and
love that.
found this dress on Amazon, made the belt.
Are you gonna model it for us? Come on, here we go.
Yeah,
All
I'll
right.
turn off
She's in
the.
her cigar lounge, folks. All right, we've got
So-
Jem and the Avengers. There you go. All right.
So yes,
Ooh,
that's
we have to
the
both sing
that's
the
the
song.
beautiful dress that I have, and yeah, I went into a total cosplay mode where I'm like, I got myself all enthralled in the whole Gem and the Holograms experience, and it actually hit me. It's like, not only did I grow up in foster care, but it's just the fact that this woman involved her not it she started like a she started her band with the people who grew up in foster care, who were in foster care. She just it made her whole life for the people in foster care, and you don't see that at all when it comes to celebrities. They don't mention that, charity work for foster care. You don't. It's things that they should be doing with their money, but not. And you really wish that
we don't really think about, that you don't hear about a lot, would be foster care as a charity and children's causes like that. I think that's not something that really gets discussed a lot.
No. But yeah, it definitely impacted my life in a way where I've definitely wanted to live my life similar to what Jem does, where I'm all about community and involving people around me so that they feel welcome, and yeah, that's the important thing about how I live is I want to make sure that people feel accepted in their life.
Yeah, and that for a cartoon, for a Saturday morning cartoon, Jim really hit on some like heavy issues, because there was homelessness, and I think there was some drug addiction on there, and yeah. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Oh man, I think I was about 11 when I remember watching the show, so probably like 10, 11 years old, and it was just like every girl's dream to just go be a rock star. It was girl power. And
it was around the time where Pat Benatar was huge, and just you had the girl power, and Stevie Nicks was huge, and I don't remember the 80s being so animal print and and stars and rainbows, but apparently it was.
Yeah, it was very like flashy and flamboyant, very colorful. It was like all the clothing,
and Samantha Newark, her voice is amazing. Around that time where there was a lot of great shows that had music in it. The Raccoons. I don't know if you. I'm a Canadian, so this may not be something that you guys know about. There was a show called The Raccoons, and they had amazing music for their montages. Jem, their music is fantastic, and when I got the Barbies, they came with little cassette tape. They came with cassette tapes with songs that actually appeared in the show, and for the life of me, I wish I still had those tapes, because I can still hear some of these songs going through my head today. And I don't know, just every so often I'll hear a tune and it's like, yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, yeah. Well, okay. Well, speaking of songs, I guess I'm going to do this and hope that my voice holds
Oh,
out,
okay.
Willow. I only remember like the little part of it. Let's see. The theme song for Jem was something like Jem, truly outrageous, truly, truly, truly outrageous. Jem is truly outrageous, truly, truly, truly outrageous. All right, Grizzly. There you go, just for you, baby. Live it up. Oh man.
Excellent.
And if you took a bathroom break and missed that, I am not repeating it for anybody. So
But did you collect the dolls at all? Like, I'm looking at these dolls on here, and they
oh wow. No, I
that's
did
the way I
not.
remember them. But for some reason, there's dolls that I'm seeing online that aren't very good looking.
So
Maybe they hear some stuff like that. Yeah, like that almost looks like the Wish version of the Gem dolls.
That right there is the start of a horror movie. Like a really low budget horror movie. Wow.
And I had that car. I had that car. Yeah, it was the lime green and pink Rolls Royce. It had a radio. It actually had a working radio in the back.
It had a working radio.
Yeah, yeah. You would put like a I think it was like a D cell battery or yeah, you would hook up a little battery to it, and it would work. I believe it was FM. I'm not sure if it was AM and FM, but I'm pretty sure it was FM radio.
Well, my toys weren't that cool. Which this has nothing to do with Jem, but speaking of like toys and like music and stuff, do you remember the California raisins?
Yes.
I'm gonna have to talk to John about that. We need to do a show on them. But I had like it was like the sandwich.
Okay.
And which was the stage that the California raisins would perform on, and then I had all of the raisins, and you pressed a button, and it like played the song.
I don't know. They don't make those kind of cartoons now, no. Which is really sad. Kids nowadays don't know what they're missing. We had cartoons about rock. We had cartoons about like jazz and like all kinds of music.
Yeah.
Like the 80s was definitely a musical type of genre, decade for cartoons.
It was, yeah. Okay, Grizzly is swooning over there. Oh,
Kid video. I don't know. It's something about the 80s just had way better cartoons than.
Well, and then, I mean, it was the music era. You know, you had MTV and VH1 that were so huge. And that was back in the heyday when those channels were mostly music and had really, really cool music videos with a whole story arc and everything. I mean, you could watch music videos in the 80s and feel like you got like a little mini movie. It was like watching shorts, you know? It's like Aerosmith's Janie's Got a Gun was one that I watched at a very young age that just like had a really like big impact on me. It was one of those really kind of chilling, haunting type videos. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I remember watching MTV, or what we had up here was Much Music, which was the Canadian knockoff.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
It was around pretty much just as long as MTV, maybe short, maybe a little bit shorter from the years, but yeah, no, it was we had our what they called VJs, video DJs, and actually, funny story, Rick Campanelli was one of the VJs, original VJs from from Much Music. He's now working for Entertainment Tonight.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys had a lot of celebrities, journalists, like actors, people have come from Canada. There's a lot of Canadians. I would think I lost you
There
again.
is a lot of Canadian influence in television and media in general. I mean, Jeopardy was hosted by a Canadian.
Oh, I think I did know that. Yeah.
Alec Trebek.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Facebook user says, hello, beautiful people. I don't know who you are.
Hello,
But hello,
Keisha.
I figured that's who it was, but I didn't want to assume. She's incognito over there.
Grizzly says, dating myself, but I remember watching the first MTV broadcast in 81. Well, I wasn't born yet.
I was 11 months old.
I think it was just ingrained in my life of Much Music would be playing constantly in my house, and that, or some form of pop culture television. I Love Lucy, Ozzie and Harriet.
Well,
I grew up with a lot of classics.
All of those things. And yeah, the music aspect of storytelling was so rich. I mean, it's still rich now, but like I think in the 80s, it just became kind of a central focal point of a lot of telling. Which it still is, but I don't know. There was just something magical about the 80s. I'm a big fan of the 80s. So I love all the John Hughes movies. I watched the other day an interview with the Breakfast Club cast from the 80s. Like I was watching them as in this interview. I was like, oh my word. They were so young. And then I caught a recent interview with Anthony Michael Hall the other day. And I was like, man, so much has changed. And I get nostalgic. And that's what this does. Shows like Jem, you go back, you forget about it. Like I had forgotten so much, and I went back and watched this for the show today, and I was like, wow, I'd forgotten about all of this. And again, like how it was like this kid's cartoon packaged in this really fun, colorful package, but yet
it's no. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
it was serious. It had like serious issues that it covered too.
Yeah.
So it was like educational.
And what's great about this is because around the time that Mattel was coming up with all these different toy lines, Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Jem and the Holograms were all had their cartoons made to sell the toys. And then of course around the time, I don't know if you were a Barbie collector.
I like the Barbies for the clothes. I like the fashion. So I was just there to dress them up in cool things.
Around the time that Jem was coming out, Barbie and the Rockers. Sorry, Jem was a totally different. Jem was a different company than
Hasbro.
Mattel.
I think Hasbro put Jem out, and Mattel had Barbie.
My apologies, guys.
That's okay. You just gave Mattel way too much credit.
Yeah, but they could have came out with a cartoon of Barbie and the Rockers, and I'm sure that it would have been just as good as Jem. But yeah, I will see if I can find a picture of the Barbies. And I remember I had the Barbies, and it was very pink, silver, all the fun images, all the fun colors that Jem had, but put into Barbie.
Yeah. Well, do you think that Barbie was trying to kind of copy the Jem things?
Oh, absolutely.
In a minute. But yeah, I think that's been kind of a thing where it's like, oh, Barbie and the Rockers, oh, Jem and the Holograms. But
yeah, they definitely brought out. Okay, so I think what happened was Mattel brought out Barbie and the Rockers just before Jem was released, if I can remember the documentary that I watched, and they were trying to capitalize on the popularity before Jem hit, but Jem definitely was the popular one because Barbie and the Rockers didn't really last very long. Like they came out with a few little things. Johnny,
what is happening?
Hey there, ladies.
Hey.
I can't, let me see. There we go. So
who are you? Do we know you?
So I am here at Athens, Ohio at Rathacon.
Okay.
And heading in to set up the sound system because I'm providing sound because Back of the Cereal Box is basically helping out with this show. We're co-sponsoring Rathacon in Athens, Ohio. So I'm heading in and I just wanted to drop in and say hello to you ladies and see how it was going. And
all good.
If anyone is in our viewing audience and they are in the Athens, Ohio or Columbus, Ohio area, come down to Rathacon at the Athens Community Center. And here's Elise, the queen bee of Rathacon. You are being seen by millions of adoring fans.
Really?
Well, a couple hundred. But anyway, I'm going to head in there. But hope you guys are enjoying this episode of Back of the Cereal Box with Jem and the Holograms. I'm sure you guys are doing a bang-up job. So I'm going to leave you.
Johnny.
But Willow, kick me out of the studio. I don't want to press end because it will end your entire broadcast.
Okay,
Whoa.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, we've had that problem a couple times.
And we're done, folks. Ending complete. Well, go back to the Ken doll and the Barbie and the Rockers, because I just have to say that right there is classic 80s hair.
See, okay, the thing is, I don't remember Ken having real hair up until the somewhere in the 90s, where it became more popular for Ken to have real hair. It was always painted on, as far as I knew.
It was plastic. Yeah, I don't remember him ever having hair. Actually, did he ever? Other than this right here, I don't remember hair. That's interesting.
And it's funny because, like, I'm thinking back to my Barbie collection, and I don't remember having the Ken doll, but I did for sure have the Barbie, and I'm fairly certain I had the Asian doll in the background.
Yeah, I didn't have any Barbie and the Rockers. I didn't. Listen, my life story with Barbie is a really sad one. I was the kid, like I always wanted the Barbie dream house, and all my friends had the Barbie dream house, and my mom was like, "It's too expensive. We can't have the Barbie dream house." And I got the townhouse. But do you remember the difference in the townhouse and the dream house? The townhouse was this flimsy cardboard thing that was like all down. But yeah. So I spent a lot of years lamenting the Barbie dream house.
Oh, I wanted the Barbie dream house myself, and I always had to improvise on creating my own house.
We make our own dreams.
Well, it was funny because I remember my mom coming home one day, and I guess she kind of raided the local. Someone's garage sale or yard sale, and she brought home like Barbie furniture, but it was made of cigarette packs and cheap fabric. I'm just like, that is actually kind of genius.
That's cool. That's fun. That's the stuff you remember. Are you a Friends fan? Do you watch the show Friends? Yeah. Okay, so there was a time when Phoebe made that dollhouse because Monica inherited one from her grandmother, and she wouldn't let Phoebe play with it. So Phoebe made this cardboard, and she made all the furniture, and yeah, it was great.
Yeah, no, I remember admiring the kind of like the craftsmanship of it, and I'm just like, no, I kind of like it. I like this furniture.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. That's awesome.
But
Oh,
it,
Dave Mattingly is here.
oh,
Good morning.
Dave,
Hi, Dave.
I'm curious as to know your take on the whole Gem and the hologram thing, because yeah, I know you're like me, you watched a lot of television.
Yeah. So did you learn anything about Jem, Willow, that you did not know?
I actually listened to a podcast with her just before being on here. She did mention something really interesting about the storyline of her, like when they were talking about her mom's death, and that not very many shows touched on that, where the parent dying. Usually it was just the kid being with the dad, or like in DuckTales, the kids just was with their uncle, and there wasn't any conversation of what happened with the other parent. I think Gem and the Holograms was the only show that really touched on death around that time, and she really wanted to make sure that the storyline had a heartwarming moment. But yeah, like that's definitely something that I never knew that. Yeah, I didn't realize. Yeah, a lot of shows up until the 90s didn't really touch on death at all.
They didn't. And I think that's something that people are afraid to talk about with kids.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh no, we can't, talk about death, but I mean, we're going to experience it. So yeah, it's important to do that. Going back, I didn't realize how serious a lot of the content was in Gem, because just watching it as a kid, I was like, yeah, rock star, woohoo. And, my friends and I, we would sing the songs and we'd dance in the living room and stuff like that. But, you go back and you look at it and you're like, wow, that's why I think it stood out so much, probably why we remember it, because it was different from so many other shows.
And like, I forgot how many seasons Gem was.
Yeah, I don't remember. That's a good question.
3 seasons.
3 seasons.
For some reason, I thought it was more than 3 seasons, but.
Well, and the theme song changed because the original theme song was different, and then that Truly Outrageous song came later. I'm not sure.
And, I didn't really know that Samantha New York was actually a songwriter, so that's something new that I didn't really know about her. I actually kind of felt bad because like I know I had the opportunity to talk to her at a convention when she was here in my city, but I kind of chickened out and didn't go around her table. So I owe you a huge apology, Samantha. I definitely want to meet you though. You seem like an awesome woman to talk to.
Well, I didn't realize that the voice of Jem and the singing of Jem was 2 different people.
Mm-hmm.
So that was something interesting, and that the woman who did the voice of Jem, I don't want to get names wrong, she was actually she's a professional singer, but the woman that did the singing had never sung professionally in her life before Jem. So I thought that was really cool to like, okay, and interesting, and just like, okay, well that's, and I guess they made that choice because for whatever reason to do it separately. And then the lady that came in, what is her name? Let me look up her name.
Britta Phillips is the woman who did the voice.
Yeah. And she just came in and they blew it out of the park. And so they were like, all right, and it's yours. It's like, wow. So I wonder how is her name is Samantha Newark. Yes. Sorry. I just don't want to get names wrong.
No worries.
But Samantha, I wonder how she felt about that. I don't know,
Yeah,
I would have wanted to sing if I was, a professional singer.
I'm definitely gonna listen to her songs on Spotify just to before I go out and buy a bunch of her songs.
Yeah, and she has worked in a lot of different things in television and in production and all of that. So she's had a long career.
She actually made an appearance in the Jem and the Holograms movie that was made a couple of years ago.
Did you watch
Did you?
that?
Okay, I will have to be honest. I did like it.
I haven't seen it.
But the one problem I did have with it was they tried very hard. It almost seemed like they were purposely ripping off Josie and the Pussycats.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, I don't know. They could have definitely done a lot more, better with it.
I'm surprised they waited so long to make a live action movie like that. And I wonder what the timing was. Why? Because it only came out a few years ago, right?
Yeah.
It's not that old.
Yeah.
So I wonder why then? Why all of a sudden, let's see. Yeah, in 2015.
Yeah.
They either ran out of things to make movies about, or they were trying to revive it, which, a revival's good if you're, I don't know. And who knows why it didn't do well, but yeah, it did not do well at the box office.
But I mean, to come in, to make this movie and to have Juliette Lewis play the bad guy again, and with, with what she played with in similar to the role that she played in Josie and the Pussycats. Music producer, trying to steal her,
it has some great plot lines. A lot of the backstory there, there was, it was really cool for a kid show. Mm-hmm. It was really deep. Sophie's World says, I wish they would reboot Jem so a modern audience can be introduced to this wonderful franchise. I agree. There we go.
And
we vote yes.
It's funny because Samantha Newark even mentioned in the podcast that I listened to that people have come up to her and said that Jem and the Holograms is a ripoff of Hannah Montana, and she's like, that's the other way around. Sorry to burst your bubble.
Wow. Yeah. No. That's Hannah Montana is new compared to Jem. It's brand spanking new. Oh, yeah. Grizzly says everything 80s was getting rebooted at that time. And I think there's been in fact, okay, I just have to say that, if you've been clothes shopping recently, anyone who has been out there trying to buy some clothes, both the 80s and the 90s are back with a vengeance. All the clothing here in the United States is the worst parts of the 90s mixed with some questionable things from the 80s.
Well, it's funny because I know that I know with Saved by the Bell how long that show lasted, and them trying to reconnect with doing the college years, and it would be kind of funny to see them bring back the Saved by the Bell characters, but at the same time,
Saved by the Bell, the nursing home years.
but with the guy, but with Screech dead, kind of ruins the whole.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay, well,
that does kind of ruin the whole idea of bringing back the characters, but it just
they could have a memorial for him or something. You could do it could be a tribute. That could be really good. But yeah, Sophie says Jem walked so Hannah could run.
Yep.
And Dave says the 80s are back. Yeah, baby.
Okay, so going to the mall every so often, I will look at some of the clothes and I'll see the Flashdance style sweaters. I'm just like, no, please leave my childhood alone.
that are true classics. Like some things just need to be kind of memorialized in like a protective bubble. Because if you try to mess with it, you're going to ruin it.
It's one thing to see people wearing neon. It's a whole nother thing when you see like kids that, our generation are bringing up in this world wearing neon and them thinking that they made it cool. And it's like, oh, you poor thing.
We are the neon generation. Remember when neon crayons came out? And that was like, I have neon Crayola crayons. Yes, hot pink and hot green. And it was the best. It was the best time. I miss those days. Anybody got a time machine? Can we go back for a minute? Grizzly Adams. Oh, wait, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, he's so glad he saved his parachute pants and hypercolor t-shirts. Whoa, listen. Okay, stop for just a minute. Everyone stop. Hold the presses. Hypercolor t-shirts. Who remembers those? Because I forgot about it until just now.
Were those the ones that would change colors if you touched them?
Yeah, you could like blow on them and you could put them in the dryer and they would change color. You could hold it. It was like heat. They were heat activated. They were the coolest things ever. Oh, do they still make those? Who knows? Somebody comment. Can we still get our hands on those? eBay.
If they can make cups do that, I'm sure that they can make clothing do that again.
That needs to make a comeback. Okay, any clothing manufacturers who are watching this episode, hypercolor t-shirts. That's what you need to read.
That sounds like something that. Okay, so we have local celebrities here named Chip and Pepper. Okay, they were big in the 80s, early 90s. When they came out with their beachwear, which was tie-dye. That sounds like something that they would probably create and bring back. So, Chip
right.
and Pepper, I'll message you these ideas and we can work together.
There you go. And I will wear one on the show. It'll be fantastic. Sophie's World says, I loved how Jem gave depth to the villains, considering the 80s was very villain bad, and that's it. Pizzazz clearly had daddy issues and it explained her need for attention. Don't we all have daddy issues?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not all of us. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Willow, I learned quite a bit about Jem that I did not know. And I think it really is a show that they probably should bring back the cartoon and like maybe revamp it for young girls, young people today, and just kind of, I don't know,
Absolutely.
see what we can show the new generation.
And there are definitely more issues that you can touch with when it comes to the foster care system. One, lack of funding. You can definitely do like more mental health issues.
Definitely.
Touch on, the problem that foster children have when it comes to being forced into the sex trade. And I know that it just took a huge dive with the show, but you know what? Unfortunately, that is one of the truths when it comes to the foster care system. There is I believe if I remember correctly, it is like 50% children get put in, get into the sex trade.
Well,
I'm lucky that
fall through the cracks of the system. Unfortunately, and I don't know what it's like in Canada, Willow, but our system here in the United States is very, very broken. So we need a lot of reform in that area. It's sad all around. But I think if kind of what we touched on with some of the themes that Jem covered, if young kids can see themselves in a show like that, if they can find a connection in something and they can see something in these shows that gives them kind of hope and encouragement where they can be like, okay, I can connect with this. This resonates with me. You know, that's something they can hold on to if they're in a bad situation. Sometimes these shows, we forget how, it's all fun, but sometimes a show for a young kid might be that one thing they're holding on to.
Yeah.
And so I know you had kind of an experience growing up that, Jem was that vital to you.
Jem, like, that is something that a lot of shows don't touch on, and even in today's world where it's like very taboo to talk about certain subjects. And you mentioned it, and I found this out. You mentioned like one of the things that I hated about living in foster care was when I was introduced as the foster kid. And it's like, my foster mom would be like, oh, these are my children. She'd say their names. And then, oh, this is my foster kid. And it's like, why am I always the last one to be introduced? 2, why am I not introduced as your child?
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's awful. Well, I mean, and that's going to make you feel less than, in that moment. And that's not right at all.
Yeah.
Cartoon Commotion says we don't need a reboot. We need parents showing kids these 80s classics. I agree.
Thank you.
Or all of the, like the Ghostbusters. There was there a Spider-Man in the 80s? I watched the 1967 Spider-Man when I was growing up, but a lot of these classic shows, just bring them back. Let's watch them and show all of the originality that was there. I had something I was going to say to what you just said, Willow, and I can't remember now what it was, but I think
it does seem like a lot of our pop culture, and especially a reason why I love superheroes, is because that's the only thing that really touched on, the surrogacy of parents, Bruce Wayne bringing in Dick Grayson, the X-Men having a place where for runaway mutants to go to,
that's a great example.
And it was just, that was my childhood. That was that's ingrained in my brain is, there was a place for people who felt unwanted. I've always wanted to see, I wanted to be in that place.
That's what I was going to say. That, any of us who do, whatever situation we grew up in, any of us who were like different, who felt out of place, who felt like we just didn't fit in or didn't belong in some of the norms, shows like Jem and some of the others, I think helped us. That's why it resonated with us. We connected with these things. And because I grew up definitely feeling very, very out of place. And I wasn't that peg that fit in,
They like Cartoon Commotion. You are amazing. Love the vibe of the foster kid situation, and Jem made it a loving musical war, not for fame or glory. That is exactly it. Like, Jerica, Jem's alter ego, she wanted to cultivate the talent of the foster kids, and she introduced them to music and got them to play, and gave them hope, essentially. That is what a true foster parent should be. That is the ultimate foster parent.
Yes. And yes, finding something that they can be excited about, that they can utilize to grow and to flourish. And that's, I'm such a huge proponent of the arts in general, because it really is, we need to protect the arts. We need to fund the arts, because it's one of the last strongholds of our humanity. When everything else is going awry, the arts has the power to heal. It has the power to teach and to do so many things. So I think, and using music to heal these kids and to give them a sense of purpose. What a fantastic storyline. We didn't even know. I was like 10, 11 years old, and I'm watching this going, yay, this is great. I look back on it now and I'm like, no, it was fantastic.
Cartoon Commotion with Jericho quote, "You're worth more than all the money in the world." That is when I said, all right, this is a golden cartoon. I'm like tearing up.
Yeah.
Because like this is stuff that I completely forgot growing up, but like I'm bringing it back now as an adult, and it's just like chills.
We all need to stop after the show today and go watch Jem. We do a Jem marathon. Who's
Yes. Sophie's World says Jerica didn't become Jem for fame; she became Jem to help feed the foster kids. Exactly.
Yeah. And she inherited that house from her father, and I love how it shows that she kept it and what she did with all of that, and not selling things didn't get piecemealed off. Like that became a central focus of the show. And I was watching the very first episode the other day, and it was, I don't know, there was just something really heartwarming in some of those moments that really affected me. So yeah, I'm going to have to go back and watch all 3 seasons, all 65 episodes, as Dave said.
I'm fairly certain Jem is on Netflix. At least last I remember. Last time I watched it, it was on Netflix. And yeah, I don't know. Just I love. Oh, sorry. Kiri Bloodrose says Jerica / Jem was very much a class act. Even when the Misfits and Eric Raymond were being absolute jerks towards her,
Wow.
I will.
Yeah. And yeah, that was another thing too. A lot of celebrities, or several celebrities, came on the show and did like guest appearances, which I thought was really great as well. Cartoon Commotion says nostalgia is not just about remembering the past. It's also about making new memories with that nostalgic experience today. And that's kind of what we're doing with the show, with Back of the Cereal Box, right? I mean, that's the
bringing back those feels of the cartoon glory. And
well, and it shows that we can remember the things of our childhood, and we can still we get to look back and see what kind of role that played in our shaping, in our formation. And yeah, it's great. I love the show. Do you love the show, Willow?
I think I have more of an appreciation for it now as an adult than I did when I was a kid, because it was all glitz and glamour then. Now it's holy crap, this this show touches the heartstrings and goes into more detail than any other show that I remember, even up until now. Like it's so stupid how like for years I've been ashamed of talking about my past of being a foster kid, and I don't want to feel that shame anymore.
No, you shouldn't feel shame for that. Not at all. Not at all. So Jem actually almost had another name. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
That
really?
She was going to be called M. But they were concerned because of Mattel and Bette Midler being the fabulous Miss M or something like that, the divine Miss M, and there was something else, so they changed it. But she was originally just going to be called M, which would have been a totally different character. I don't know.
So Grizzly Adams says Exactamundo is a very 80s cartoonism, and he loves it. I think a lot of our sayings from the 80s came from pop culture and all the shows that we used to watch.
Where did Exactamundo come from? Because now I'm remembering it now that you guys are putting it on there.
I feel like that was a saying that came from Ninja Turtles, but I could be wrong.
Probably that sounds right. And it's funny is because like my youngest kid, he's 10, and when he gets like since he's been like 6 years old, if he gets a problem right in math, I always go correctamundo. I don't know where that came from, and he loves that I say that. And I'm like, my brain probably got that from Exactamundo.
Yeah, totally. I say totally way too often. That's a word that is very much like the word like for so many of us. But yeah, totally is definitely 80s, and I believe that came from Jem.
Did it come from Jem?
I could be wrong, but maybe it was just something that the 80s just collectively started saying all together.
Right. The 80s is still alive. I just want to say it did not leave us. It did not.
There are words from I think every generation that kind of sticks in everybody's.
Grizzly Adams says
Valley Girl, yes.
Girl. Yeah, but didn't the Turtles? Didn't they say stuff like that too? I don't know. They kind of had that voice. Yeah, awesome and cool, and Cowabunga was a big 80s thing, and totally, and Rad. Remember Rad? Oh, Rad. Rad was
Sambo had a serious plan with these tunes. G.I. Joe had the action hero vibe. Transformers had the sci-fi gem, and it had the Hollywood drama action. Inhumanoids gave us monster movies. Yeah.
All of the above.
Our pop culture is just fantastic, and I love doing these deep dives into them.
I don't even know what's on Saturday mornings now, but I'm pretty sure it's not as good as what we grew up with. Can I get an amen up in here, y'all?
And the art, for a moment there, let's just ravel like the art of Jem was fantastic.
Yeah. And I'm totally digging your makeup this morning.
I'm realizing that my makeup's more
props for her makeup this morning.
I think my makeup's more Roxy than Jem, but
we'll take it.
It's kind of switched there, but
oh, Roxy's great. Yeah, look at the eyeshadow on that one, that blue and purple. It's fantastic.
And you know what? It's funny because I'm when doing my makeup, I actually grabbed for like the liquid eyeshadow stuff in my makeup kit. I assure you, it's not from the 80s.
It's the Wet and Wild still left over from the 80s. All these years.
Although it's funny, you still get like the chunky mascara in the lime green tube.
Yes.
That made me laugh when I was at the makeup store one day. I'm just like, dude, this is like so 80s. Let's hope it's not left over from the 80s.
Yeah. Well, some of them are making a comeback, like the roll-on perfumes. They're making a comeback. All right. Well, do you have any new loot? Because we have a segment where we're going to reach into our cereal boxes and we're going to dig out the loot.
I unfortunately haven't really done much outside of work and housework. So Sarah, do you have anything to show us?
Well, I do have. This is not cartoon related, but I do have. This is my new loot. It's One of Us by J.T. Ellison. This is her new book, and I don't know if is that backwards for you.
No, it looks good.
Oh, okay, good. It's backwards for me. I have my camera mirrored. So yeah, It's One of Us by J.T. Ellison. This is her latest thriller. So go check it out. She's a fabulous author. She's been on my show, Coffee and Words, and she's absolutely amazing and wonderful.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's my new loot. Yay. Book loot. Book loot is the best loot.
Hey, if I shouldn't say if I had more time, I'd probably read, but yeah, I don't know. I just I should actually take some time to read people's books. I'll take the time to read your book. How about that?
All right, thank you. Yay. All right. Awesome. Well, if you hate it, don't blame me for your wasted time. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, no.
All right. Final thoughts, Willow. Final thoughts on Jem, on the 80s, on nostalgia.
Oh, so with a lot of our cartoons, it is all about looking for a place to belong. And in the world where we are living in right now, people are looking for a place to belong. And I want to, as the friendly Canadian, I want to say, I want to be your friend. You are a part of my life. Everybody here in the chat, if you guys have an issue to talk about, I am I am open. I am open to chat about anything. You belong. You are loved and you matter. And please don't take anything that this world is throwing at you too serious, but at the same time, fight for your rights because you deserve to be here.
Yeah, there's a lot of brokenness in the world right now, and so we need to take a break, take a breath, and let's have some conversations. Let's hold some people's hands. Let's love each other. I don't want to sound all fluffy, but like we need to take a minute and just remember who we are and that we are all beautiful human beings. Okay.
All right. You got to take off and I'll close up the show if you need to.
Well, yeah, I was going to remind everybody to support the show. If you love us, there's a link down below, buymeacoffee.com/cerealboxpod. And if you hate the show, as John always says, you got to help us make it better. So click on over there. Support John's books. Willow, you're fabulous. I love the cosplay. I didn't get to do it this morning, but it's been fun co-hosting with you. And hopefully John and Dee will be back next week. So
I can't wait to see what John has in store for us for next week. So this was fun. This was a fun look into
it. Was truly outrageous.
Truly outrageous. All right. You guys have a wonderful day. Have a great weekend and see you guys tomorrow night for Cryptid Crunch.
Oh, Cryptid Crunch. Everybody tune in. where they crunch on cryptids. It's really tasty.
All right. And where is my
Thank you all for joining.
That and
for your comments.
All right. You guys have a great day. Take care. Love ya.